Hello guys, this is Lori with LM's Crafty Creations. I am here with part 3 of the video tutorial for my design team project for Country Craft Creations. This is the Authentique Harvest collection, and I've already shown you kind of what I did on the cover here, and we attached all of the paper all the way around. There's our other smaller spines, and what I have done is taken I went ahead and cut everything that I'm going to use here in order. This is mostly just a video on matting and showing you how I decorated most of it. I'm going to do all the matting and some of the decorated, and then I'll probably do the rest off camera and give you a final review of the project. So what I've done here, and this is the two covers on the front. So as soon as you open the folio, that's the covers right here. So what I've done is I went ahead and cut two pieces, and I have inked around all my edges with, which one is this? Is this walnut stain? Distress ink? Yeah, I covered it up with my ink. So yes, Tim Holtz walnut stain distress ink is what I've used. So I'm going to go ahead and glue these two pieces down first, and all I do for my matting is I measure from here to here, and I cut my paper 1/4 of an inch less to mat. I am going to use my art glitter glue to mat everything, and like I said, I've pretty much pre-cut everything. And so hopefully this will go relatively quickly. Here we go. This is the Authentique spectrum paper that I'm using. It's kind of the supplemental paper that goes with all of their paper lines, and I love it. And I always use the stripe side because that's my favorite. The swirly pattern is very cute, but I'm a stripey kind of girl. Oops. There we go. And it dries pretty fast, so you don't have to really wait. So now what I'm going to do on the cover here is I have cut these at, let me show you the inside here, and they're both the same, so I'll only open one. I've cut this at 12 inches by 4 1/4. And all I did is score on at 6 inches. I inked around all of these edges because I'm not going to paper on the inside of this. I'm just going to leave it, because when you put your photo in, there's not going to be much of a border. This is smaller than 4 by 6 because they cut the tag down, but there's not going to be much of a border. So, and then I added a strip of 1/2 inch score tape here, and I just put my seam binding down on each side, and I'm going to put, I took my 4 by 6 card, and I trimmed it down a little bit so I'd get a little bit more of an edge, a little border here, and I'm going to put it right there in the middle. And this one is going to go on this side right here. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this one down. And I really wanted to make it to where my tie here is facing in, so that when you close the book you don't see the bow. So I'm going to go ahead and tie this bow back. And I made 2 of these. There's going to be one that goes on the other side. It's going to go right there. I'm going to go ahead and glue it down. Oops, try not to get glue on my seam binding there. There's not going to be much space on these sides of it. And there we have it. So that way my bow faces in. So when I close it, these ends don't go all the way to here. So there's a little bit of a gap. You see, can I get it in the camera? There it is. There's a little bit of a gap here is what I'm trying to show you. That was not very clear at all. Sorry about that. Okay, so I'm going to take the other one. I made it the exact same way, and I'm going to put it right here. I took this cut apart. It was also a 4x6, and I just trimmed around the whole thing. And I'm going to put that on here. Just going to try to get it centered as much as I can. And so this one will open up this way, so they'll both open up that way. Like my little hand gestures there. Okay, I'm going to stick this one at the bottom here. So you can also use magnets here if you don't want these ribbons hanging out, but I've already used, let's see, about 6 magnets in this folio, so and you don't have to use that many. You can absolutely do different closures, and I will show you where you can do that. And there we go. I'm going to leave it just like this, and because I want a place to put a photo right here. So you open these up and you have 2 photos here, and then you have a photo right here is what I'm going for. So this will be blank. So now I'm going to go ahead, let's just do one side at a time. I'm going to go ahead and do the left side because I already have, there's my instructions, I already have this stuff here. So what I used, I think I mentioned this before, I had these graphic 45 cards left from the ATC box that I decorated, and I didn't use them. So I'm using them in this album, and I didn't have enough, so I of course just traced around the edge of the cards. Here's one, just like this on cardstock, and then I added my own eyelet and some seam binding. So I'll be using these cute little cards throughout the album. So to mat the front page, I'm going to use the Spectrum paper again. This is like the tan color, and I'm sorry, I did cut off all of the color names. So I don't know what color exactly this is, but I did tell you what colors I had during my haul video, so you can check that out in case you want to get the exact same ones. I only had like, I don't know, 5 or 6 sheets maybe of the Spectrum paper, but it really did help supplement the line since I used some of this paper to do 2 other smaller projects. This is going to go on the inside of the pocket here. And now for, why do I have this here? Because what I'm going to do here, I'm going to put this cut apart here and see what I did. I drew this line around here, and that's where I'm going to put my glue. I'm going to make this into a pocket to put my tag. So I'm just going to go ahead and do around the edges. And I'm only putting glue where I made my marks. So what I did is I put my tag down here and kind of traced around where I thought I wanted my pocket to be so that I didn't put glue there. Now in this album, because it is like a foldable folio and I don't really have a closure, you can absolutely add a closure to this, but I didn't want to on mine because I thought it was going to lay pretty flat. So you don't want to use a whole lot of chunky embellishments like this seam binding I'm using. You don't want to use a whole lot of that. So this is going to, I don't know if I want to tuck that in just yet because it's probably not dry, but it's going to tuck in right here, just like that. Like cute. But I'm going to leave it out for now because I just want to give this a chance to dry. And I didn't cut this, so I wonder, that's not big enough. I'm going to have to find something because the scraps that I had left were not very big at all. So I'm going to have to find something for that top. So I'm just going to leave that as it is for right now. Now, so I went ahead and put all my mats inside the pockets so that I have everything ready to go. This is what's going to go on the belly band. And I did cut this at 2 inches by, gosh, I don't remember, 8. It's probably 7 something. Just like I said before, it's 1/4 of an inch less on each side. Now when I do my belly band, this one's going to go underneath here. I don't use glue because it gets stuck down before I get it situated. So I am going to use my ATG for just this one thing. And of course, I'm going to run out of ATG tape right as I'm doing this. Doesn't it figure? So because I know I might have people, oops, there it goes, ask me later, I get my ATG gun tape at tapejungle.com. And it's not the best quality. It's not as good as the Scotch brand. Like nothing's as good as the name brand, right? Usually. But it's good enough. And it saves you lots of money. And I bought a whole case of this stuff. I don't use as much of it as I was using before because now I use the glue. Sorry, I'll have to sit through this. But now I'm a pro at it, so it goes right on. Done it a million times. It used to take me forever to put ATG tape on. Always forgot how it went. Okay. Here we go. So much easier to just position this. There we go. Okay, I'm sliding here. Now I'm going to open this up. I'm going to do, this is the pocket. I tried to use like the spectrum paper on the outside and the decorative harvest paper. Wait, the spectrum paper on the inside and the decorative harvest paper on the outside. So you could really see it. And now this is going to go in here. Make sure I cut it correctly, because sometimes I don't. Shocker. going to do the top, and we're almost done with this page. I used a lot of glue. I've already refilled that bottle like 3 or 4 times. And I will let you know that Country Craft Creations has the best price on the refill for the art glitter glue. Because I checked. I did, I checked. I'm an Amazon girl. I tend to order on Amazon, so I thought, hey, I'll see what this price is. And Tamara definitely has a better price on the art glitter glue, so just so you know. Alright, now this goes in there. I think these go out here. This goes here. Okay, let's do the outside flaps first. And I did the little mums, which I think are so darling. Oops, I'm not in frame. There we go. Sorry, guys. I get so busy trying to mat that I forget to check the camera. And it's right in front of my face. I will be adding some of the stickers from the collection, and I have some more cut-aparts left. And so I will be adding some of those to here too, but I'm not going to do it in this video. So these are going to go on the flaps here, and I'm going to go ahead and put this down in the pocket. And I don't know if I'm going to use them, but I made some flowers similar to there was one of them that I used in the front cover that I made. So here's my flowers. And so like I said before, I used the Michael's Recollection brand flowers. Just the white ones, and it's like $13 for the bag, and you can use a coupon for it. It's well worth it because it comes with a lot of flowers, and I just, initially I actually dunked them in coffee because I thought I would just like tea stain them or coffee stain them, but it wouldn't get dark enough for me and for what I wanted to do with it. So I eventually just brought them back, and I used my chalk inks on them. So I did the fall colors that I wanted, and they were pretty bright to start out with, but I went back over them with my distress ink, and it wasn't walnut stain, it was the other one. What's the other one? It was a brown one. It's the one that I usually use, and I can't think of what it is at the moment. And oh, Vintage Photo. That's what it was. I went back over them with Vintage Photo. And then I hit them with my gold Wink of Stella pen, and they turned out really great, I think. And some of them I just inked with just the distress stain, and that's it. So they came out with a great brown color. I don't typically like to spend money on flowers. I prefer to make my own. But sometimes they don't. Like these turned out, with all of the ink and everything, they turned out really flat. Sometimes you just need a fluffy flower. Okay, there are our pockets matted. And then these are going to go on the flaps over here. I know I'm a little bit out of frame. There we go. One flap done. These polka dots actually would have been really cute too, but I thought since I had such a bright color on the outside, I needed a more subtle color on the inside, was my thinking. Okay, there we go. So, really cute. Close that one. Now we're on to the fourth one. And I'm going to use this for the belly band. Let me see what my thoughts were here. This is going to go, oops, lost my computer. This is going to go on the inside, I think. Yeah. This goes here. This goes down here. And this goes on top of here. So I'm going to go ahead and do this first because I'm going to use the ATG. And then after we're done with this page, I'll show you where I added my magnets really quickly. So you can do that. So I went ahead and added mine. Oops. Is this supposed to? I have both of these sides inked, so I don't remember. I must have changed my mind. It's nothing bad about cutting everything ahead of time, because then I don't remember what I wanted it to look like sometimes. I end up doing something totally different. So I'm going to mat this pocket now, or flap. It's not a pocket. I stuck with the a simple page design on this one because, like I said, I wanted to keep everything flat. Because normally I probably would have added more pockets and flaps in different places. But this album really calls for flat stuff. This would be a great gift. It goes together pretty quickly when you're not trying to film it all. And is very easy to decorate. Okay, we've almost got 4 of the pages matted, and then we'll have to do the other 4 on the other side. Here we go, getting glue on me. I love this leaf pattern. It's so pretty. And that one too. I just like leaves. Okay, so now that we're done with that, so I'll show you where I added my magnets. So right here we have this closure here, and I added a magnet on this flap and then right here. And then I did the same on the opposite side. So let's go ahead and mat this since I have it here. And I forgot to cut 2 of these, so I'll have to cut another one. because I need one for the other side of this as well. And I did go ahead and cut it and round my corners. So I'll need that too. This is going to go here, and I'm going to go ahead and remove my tape here from my magnet. I always go over it with score tape again. Just to make sure it stays down. And then of course it's got, you know, some glue on it, so it's not going anywhere. Now, why do I have so many of these? Pretty sure that this goes here. So when you close it, it looks like that. So now we're going to put this here. And I didn't have enough paper to mat the other side of the flaps, so I didn't cut any mats for those yet, but I'm going to just take a generic cardstock and mat those, probably. But I will show you what I did on my final walkthrough. So, I know I cut this, but apparently it wasn't, I think it was for this, but I didn't cut it right, it's too big. So I'm just going to stick it right here. Well, somewhere where it won't show. So you'll also have to mat, like this last flap lifts up again, and you have a large space here, so you have to mat this as well. So I'm just going to stick that in there until I figure out what I was thinking. So now we're done with this part, except for I need to add paper there. We're going to go on to, let's do the back cover. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put this here, I'm going to mat this right here, this green. And then what I've made here is I took another one of the cards and I did another fold up booklet. So this is going to be cut, this is 8.5, so I used an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper by 6 1/4 is all this is. And then I scored on the 8.5 inch side at 4 1/4 and folded it in half. Now I did take this card and I just mounted it on the top, but I also added this little pull using seam binding. So it's going to go right here, and I think I would have made my pull a little bit longer because it's hard to get in there and grab it to open it up. And I'm not going to mat the inside of it, or at least I don't plan on it unless I need to. I wasn't planning on adding a magnet here, but I may have to, so I'm just going to wait and see how that goes. And if I do add a magnet, then of course I will mat the inside to cover it. So not much of the green paper is going to be showing, it's just kind of like an accent color. So I thought that was cute. You have room for 2 more photos there. I really burnished that well, hopefully to get this to lay as flat as possible without having to add a magnet. On this, I didn't ink this. I didn't quite have enough paper to finish this out, so I'm going to go ahead and add what I have, and then I'll have to add I have paper left over, but none of it's the right size, of course. So I'm going to go ahead and add this to the bottom here, and this is where I put a magnet at the top of this flap, and then down here as well. I'm going to go ahead and remove my tape from this one, and go ahead and mat that part. And I think what I'm going to do now that I've matted it is I'm going to go in with my 1-inch circle punch, and I'm going to come here and just punch a notch right there. I meant to do that ahead of time, so hopefully y'all did that ahead of time and didn't forget like me. See, this one's a little short too, but I'm just going to go with it because it's just the inside of the envelope, and I don't think it's going to matter. No worries. So this one, I don't think I inked around, covered up the white. This one doesn't show much of the ink, but I just like to have that white covered where you cut into the paper. And I'm going to add this. And it's going to be a little bit short, like I said. And I'm just going to end up adding a small strip right there. It's just barely short. So there we go. Now, let's go ahead and do this larger page since I'm here. This is the same. I'm using the same closure piece, same pattern for this side of the back cover. And again, I need to cut 2 more to cover my magnet on this side. So, I think that, let me see what my thoughts were here. I think this is going to go on the other side. I cut that one right. This is going to go here. And the other one's going to go down here. So, remove that tape backing. Again, this is the Spectrum paper that I used on this. I love these colors. They went perfectly with this. go. So easy to mat. And you could also do layouts on these larger pages. You know, you could do your photo mat here and some designs. I just kept this kind of simple with just strict matting. And you know, the spectrum paper is beautiful, but it is, since it's not super decorative, I don't mind covering that up with my photos either. So, you know, sometimes you're like, oh, that paper is just so pretty, I want to cover it up. But since this is just a filler, it still looks nice because some of it peeks out from behind the photo, but you're not sad that you just covered up stripes. So I love using this paper. So again, this flips open again. Oops, I lost you for a minute. My computer keeps turning off. So here, I think y'all might notice it, might not notice it at all, but I do. It's not supposed to. Oh, I didn't plug it in. That's why it's doing that. Okay. Okay, shouldn't do it anymore. Now, so anyway, you'll have to put paper there as well. So there we go. There's our two sides. Aren't they adorable? Okay, so I'm going to close this. I have paper clips everywhere, and I'm going to mat the other pages, and we'll just go ahead and start with this back page since we're here. This is another one that I had to piece together. This is going to go here, this goes here, they go up there. Okay, so let me do the easy stuff first. I really like this plaid paper. The colors in this collection are muted, but they're still so pretty. It goes this way. You have to really burnish right here because it's where it's folded a little bit, where all those pages are coming together, to get that in there correctly. Okay, so this part I kind of pieced together because I didn't have enough of one piece to make a solid mat, and which is okay because I don't mind piecing things together. I think it looks cute. So I'm going to put this piece down first with my nice border around it, and then I'm going to add my other pieces. Oops, it's coming out. There we go. So now I'm going to add this red strip too. See, it's just barely short. So I'm going to add my red strip there. And then to kind of cover up this seam, I'm going to add this decorative piece here, which I liked anyway because it tied into this bottom. I tend to do a lot of paper piecing on my photo mats because I don't always have enough paper left at the end of my projects anyway, because the projects I design myself tend to use a lot of paper. And I just like the way this looks. So, can you see that? Isn't that cute? So, now I'm going to do the belly band part first with my nice bright polka dots. And